do you not think someone like Schofield, who's had the career trajectory that he has, will bounce back? And I think he will stay, because when you look at cancel culture, particularly white men are very rarely cancelled. It's generally women. If anyone's going to be cancelled, it will be Holly.
Welcome to the Showbiz Showdown with me, JJ and Anisiobi. This is the only show on all of TalkTV where we take on one entertainment controversial issue of the week and debate it head on. Joining me across the table, feminist, journalist, author, columnist, the lists go on and on. My good friend Rebecca Twomey, welcome to the show again.
Thank you for having me back.
Well, thanks for coming in. Look, today's big question, let's get straight into it. Is it time for Phillip Schofield to be sacked, given the boot, or retire from This Morning? Personally, I think yes. I've heard plenty of bad things about this geezer. All rumours, nothing I can confirm, but recent reports suggest that him and Holly have fallen out, and now maybe she's going to try and distance herself from him and get him the boot while she stays on. To me, I 100% think the Schofe should go. I think the silver-haired, silver-tongued, small little man has had his time in the spotlight. The gravy train is truly over for him. The public have turned against him. It's time he just did the honourable thing and bowed out.
Well, what's his age and how he looks got to do with his presenting talent? But yes, I actually think that he should stay because he's the best man for the job.
Is he?
Yes, he absolutely is. If you think about his career and what he's done for This Morning and how he revolutionised it and how much viewers connect with him, he is, you know, it doesn't really matter if he's a nice person. What matters is he good at his job?
See, I think it does matter.
On air. Is he nice on air? Yes.
It does matter if he's a good person, because that's the whole point for me of This Morning, is that people buy into the Holly and Phil, they're just like us. They're just so normal. They're just so relatable. It's a relatable show. It's a very broad show. Anyone can watch it. And now what we're seeing actually is that perhaps it's been a facade the whole time. They're supposed to be presenters, not actors, but they've just been faking it. That's what I'm hearing.
But there's loads of TV duos that have faked it. Think about Ant and Dec. When we knew, I know they're very good friends, I'm not saying there's beef between them, but when Ant McPartlin was going through a very difficult time in his life, his addiction to prescription painkillers, his marriage was falling apart, he and Dec are still the highest paid duo on British TV and have this huge deal. We didn't say, oh, get rid of Ant, he's having a hard time, or oh, they haven't got the same chemistry they used to have. Because you could see when Ant was, ITV did make the exception and bring him back in on I'm a Celebrity and all of their hosts, the shows they host, it was that they welcomed back with open arms. Nobody said, oh, one of them should go, there's all this tension behind the scenes.
But they hadn't done anything to offend the public, apart from the car that he crashed into.
Yeah, he nearly killed someone.
Yeah, apart from that small thing,
yeah.
The public weren't offended by him going through trials and tribulations that we all go through. Yeah, he had addiction issues, which he met head on, sorted out, and came back stronger. People have a comeback. Schofield.
So why can't Schofield have a comeback?
Because Schofield's not suffering with addiction issues. He's suffering with being a fake and a phony. Let's go back. The first person, Fern Britton, used to do This Morning with him. She left because of a disagreement with Phillip Schofield. Amanda Holden has been unequivocal in her opinion of what a mean man Schofield is. And then you've got the real Marvin Parr of the show, Ruth Langsford and Eamon Holmes. Every one of them, they also had some beef with Phillip and were kind of pushed out of the scene. So the problem is not everyone else. It's time for This Morning to look at themselves and say, actually, maybe the problem isn't all of these presenters. Maybe the problem is this one presenter. Maybe it's time we got rid of him. And when it comes to, you're right, he is a good presenter. He's a great broadcaster, I can't deny that. But the numbers don't change. Viewing figures don't go up when Schofield's on. Viewing figures don't go down when he's not on. They stay the same. We've got Dermot O'Leary and Alison Hammond, who, yeah, I think they're great presenters. I don't think they're as good as Holly and Phil, but the This Morning audience doesn't drop. But importantly, social media lights up when Alison and Dermot are on. It doesn't light up anymore when Phillip and Holly are on.
But is social media really the tell-all of what people are watching, what they want? The most important thing, if you're a business and you're ITV and you're This Morning, is how many people are watching and how much you can charge advertisers. Now, there's no such thing as bad publicity, so everyone is tuning in to see the facade or the drama or what's going on, and that can only help ad revenue. So it doesn't really make business sense to get rid of one of your strongest assets and the main reason why everyone's watching it at the moment. And also, 1.3 million people watched that This Morning Christmas special in the Christmas just gone. That is real pulling power that Phillip Schofield has.
You've seen The Dark Knight, Christian Bale. There's a line in that.
I love Christian Bale. Of course I've seen it.
Die and be the hero, or live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Holly and Phil have become the villains. They've been there for 14 years. It's not. I'm not just calling for Phillip to resign. I'm calling for Holly. If she wants to save her career, she's got to leave this morning
What's Holly
too.
done to make her a villain?
I'll tell you what Holly's done.
The golden girl.
She has co-signed his rumoured behaviour. That's what she's done. By appearing alongside him, by going on holidays with him, by coming into the office. Oh, I'm a little hungover from the awards last night. Oh, aren't we so silly and relatable? By doing all that stuff and being so closely aligned with him, even if he leaves and she stays and she gets partnered up with anyone else, I'm going to see Holly Willoughby, but I'm going to think Phillip Schofield. She needs to distance herself from him completely. Dancing on Ice as well, she's got to go from that show. It's time. They've been on this one for 14 years. That's a great run, guys. But actually, let someone else come in. Where's the new talent coming from?
I agree with you in that there should be more talent let in, but I think there's something very safe about seeing two people on screen every morning for people. There's so much change going on at the moment. It's quite a scary place to be with the cost of living and everything else. And what I think they do is that they provide some comfort. You want to know your main stories from people you know and trust and feel that you trust. And also, let's remember, Holly did part ways with Phil when she went to do I'm a Celebrity, which is rumoured where some of their rifts started, maybe in a bit of jealousy. But she did do very well. She was hugely praised for stepping into Ant's shoes on I'm a Celebrity. Yeah. So she can carve out her own career. She is sort of developing, but it didn't affect, when she did I'm a Celebrity on screen, I don't think it affected their relationship. The show still grew. This morning was still very watchable and their chemistry was still very good.
Tell you what, I think the problem started when the British public got sick of their smugness. You can only be like so nice and, oh, we're just like you guys. Oh, look at us, so normal, until people start thinking, but you're not just like us, are you? You're not really, you're too smug. Because first you had Q-Gate,
yeah,
right?
I knew you were going to bring that one up.
Yeah, because I was down there to see the Queen line in state, to interview people. I was there with Sharon Osbourne, and we went to the very front of the queue, and we didn't jump the queue. We didn't go ahead and go, because it's not about us, it was about people seeing the Queen and speaking to the people, speaking to the public. Holly and Phil do not need to jump the queue and go in. So the British public, if there's one thing you don't do to the British public, it's jump the queue, okay?
Yeah, agreed.
We queue the best in the world. And then they got booed at the National Television Awards, right? Yeah, which I know. It sounds trivial, but that's everyone gets. Even Piers Morgan gets cheered for. the
well,
NTA.
sometimes he's cheered, sometimes he's booed, yes.
But Holly and Phil were roundly booed by people when they went there. The British public are sick of them.
When you look back, you think about what happened to Anthea Turner. She was the golden girl of TV in her time. She was the highest paid person on TV. She had an affair with a married man, and that was it. She's never really bounced back from that. Whereas when you look at Vernon Kay, the sexting scandal that he had, he's bounced back fine.
Yeah.
He's just got another radio show, another TV show. And when you look as well at Johnny Vaughan and Denise Van Outen, he's bounced back from that. They were very, very good friends, like Holly and Phil were. Mm-hmm. Then there was some big rift when they were coming to renegotiate salaries and contracts. And then that's where sort of, their friendship ended. But they've still gone on to have very successful careers. And I think they could have carried on presenting together. I'm
not saying that we should cancel Phillip Schofield. I'm simply saying that he should not be on one of the biggest TV shows at the moment because he's not popular with the public. His act was, as I keep saying, I'm one of you. Look, I'm just Phillip Schofield. I'm just a normal person. That's a game they call Spin to Win, where they spin the wheel around, and they did
Wheel
it.
of Fortune.
No, on this morning they have a segment where they spin a wheel, and there's prize £200, £500.
Yeah.
With the cost of living crisis, they started putting that on the board, so we're going to pay your electricity bill this month. The public are incensed with that. Yeah. It's like you cannot take our struggles and trivialise them and try and make it some kind of game. The public hated it, which is why I think it's time he stepped down. I don't think we should cancel. I don't think anyone should be cancelled.
Good.
But he should get off this gravy train now, and if he doesn't get off it, he'll be pushed. And if Holly doesn't jump off it, and she stays align herself with him, then she's going to be done for the slaughterhouse too.
Well, she doesn't have to align herself with him, but they are presenting a very good show, and I think they can actually have a sit-down chat, and if they need to save their careers, which it looks like they might do at the moment, they can actually recover from this. It's been a very tough week. It's still very fresh. Back, like I mentioned in Christmas, they were doing really, really well, and I think it could just take maybe another month of working on things, thrashing it out between them, and they can come back stronger. And wouldn't we all love to see that? We all need a success story. We know they're having problems, and they can make it.
The success story for me would be Alison Hammond and Dermot doing 3 days a week. Maybe what's the guy called who does In for a Penny for a Pound?
My mind has gone blank
Stephen
as well.
Mulhern.
Stephen Mulhern. It'd be great to see Stephen Mulhern given a shot on one of those shows.
It's not a light entertainment show. They do cover quite heavy stories, and it's brilliant.
And you think Holly Willoughby is great at covering serious stories?
I think she's had a lot more practice at it now.
She's had good practice at it. Yeah, well, she's had 14 years of practice.
But yeah, that's what I mean.
She's been on that show longer than the Tories have been in power.
But
it's
you
long enough.
You need an expert to do heavy stories, and as brilliant as those presenters are, I don't know if we want Alison Hammond's beautiful positivity and laughter on a story that might be, quite emotive and quite sensitive. someone like Holly and Phil, because they are so experienced, they do know how to handle those stories, and I think they are the best people, unless they change this morning and make it a lighter, fluffier entertainment show.
Let me tell you, I think the writing's on the wall. I think Holly is, at the very minimum, she's going to ask for Phil to be gotten rid of and she stays on. But I think she could leave the show altogether herself and quit Dancing on Ice and go it on her own. That's what I think she's going to do, because she has to save her career. And I think Phillip is the person who people dislike at the moment. Holly is collateral damage. She's associated closely with him. That's close enough, maybe too close now. So I think she's gonna just distance herself from that guy completely.
I think Phil will stay and they should wheel someone new in if Holly wants to go.
Oh no!
Because he's already done it once with Fern. He's already got rid of one and brought another one in. I think he can do it again.
You think so? You think this is the comeback king?
I think he's got the power to. Just with the examples I've given you as well.
By the way, career trajectory. He went from being in a cupboard with a gopher, yeah, to being in the wilderness for a little bit, and then suddenly getting this morning because John Leslie dropped out.
Think about Andy Peters. let's pause for his career. Maybe Andy Peters and Phillip Schofield could host it together.
Nobody wants to see two men hosting this morning. You've got to have a woman there.
Why is that?
Because it just works better. That's what society wants to see. A man and a woman.
Tell me the truth. Tell me what you're really thinking to really make me angry. Go on, tell me.
No, I just don't think we want to have two men hosting it, or two women. It's been done before with two women and two men. Rylan did it with his ex-husband at one point. Yeah. I wasn't a fan. I like to see a female on there.
Because you like consistency and you like familiarity, which is why we still need Holly and Phil.
Well, okay, let's make a bet here, right on the show. Phillip Schofield loses his job at This Morning. Whether he puts out that he's walked away or whether he gets fired, he's going. And I think Holly Willoughby will also quit Dancing on Ice.
Okay, you owe me drinks if you're wrong.
No, I want cold hard cash, £100.
You wish you get shot.
All right, well, listen, viewers, let us know what you think. I'm sure most of you have great common sense. That's why you're on TalkTV, the home of common sense, and you're going to agree with me. So leave your comments below. Tell me how correct I am. Tell me how wrong Rebecca Twomey is. And don't forget to like and subscribe. That's all for this week. See you again.